You've done everything right. The resume is polished. Your LinkedIn profile could make the recruiter weep with joy. You've nailed all those screening calls and you walked out of the interview feeling like you absolutely crushed it. But then, silence. Ghosted. Until finally, that dreaded rejection email lands in your inbox. Seriously, what gives? So why aren't you getting the job? Well, let's dig into it because I've got some answers that might surprise you. Welcome to CourseCorrect, your upskilling partner. Alright, let's start with the first big reason. Sometimes those interviews you're getting are just a formality. I know, it stings. Imagine this, you're not even in the running because they've already picked someone, maybe an internal candidate or their CEO's nephew. What you are is a checkbox. HR just has to interview a few people to make it look official. Brutal, right? So what do? You need to make yourself unignorable so they can't just treat you like filler. From the very touch point, your resume, your cover letter, even that initial LinkedIn message, you have to show that you're not just another applicant. Research the company's biggest challenges. Are they struggling with scaling? Is their customer satisfaction tanking? Then make it your mission to show how you can solve those problems. If you got experience in optimizing processes during times of growth, put that front and center. Make them realize that you're not just another name in a list. You are the one who'll make a difference. And while you're at it, don't be a stranger. I'm serious. Comment on their work on LinkedIn, attend their webinars, or ask good questions in industry forums. Make meaningful connections before they even see your resume. That way, you're not just a name, you're a familiar face. Now let's talk about a disease. I like to call the disease interviewees. You know what I'm talking about, right? It's when you walk into an interview and turn into a robotic corporate clone. You're saying all the right things, nodding at all the right times, but you sound like an AI from 2010. And I say that as someone who knows AI pretty well. Interviews aren't just about saying what they want to hear, they are about connection. They're about showing how you're a human who can bring something unique to their team. So ditch the script, treat the interview like a real conversation. Let's be honest, everyone loves a good story. So share a time you solved a problem in a creative way. Admit to a challenge you overcame, and hey, crack a joke if the moment's right. Authenticity isn't just refreshing, it's memorable. You're not going to be the person they forget if you are the one who shared an honest, real story and maybe got a laugh or two. Remember, nobody wants to hire a cardboard cutout. Here's another trap a lot of people fall into: pitching themselves as the perfect fit. Let me let you in on a little secret. Being the perfect fit is overrated. In fact, sometimes it's the exact reason you're getting passed over. Why? Because being perfect fit often translates to being safe. You tick all the boxes, you fit the mold, and that's it. But what the companies really want is someone who can push the boundaries, bring fresh perspectives, and challenge the status quo. So instead of trying to be perfect, show how your unique background is exactly what they need. Maybe you worked in a different industry that gives you a new perspective. Maybe you've taken risks in your career that taught you lessons others don't have. Highlight those experiences and show that you're the person who isn't afraid to innovate. And speaking of being bold, if you're not addressing the company's problems head on, you're missing on a huge opportunity. Look, most people show up to interviews ready to talk about their skills, their experiences, their amazing accomplishments. But what about the company's pain points? What are they struggling with right now? Before you even set foot in that interview, you need to understand what's keeping them up at night. Are they losing market share? Is employee retention a disaster? Whatever it is, bring it up in the interview. Ask thoughtful questions, suggest solutions, show them you are already thinking like someone on the inside. That's what sets you apart from the perfect on paper crowd. And this is where CourseCorrect comes in. If you're unsure of the skills you're missing or how you can position yourself better, CourseCorrect has you covered. We use AI to identify your skill gaps and give you personalized learning paths that directly match the needs of the roles you're applying for. Want to show up ready to solve their problems? Get the skills that make you the solution. You can start using CourseCorrect for free by clicking on the link in the description below. Now let's get real. Most of us have been taught to play it safe in interviews. Stick to the polished, rehearsed answers. Say all the things you think they want to hear. And guess what? That's how you blend in with every other safe candidate. If you want to be memorable, you need to take some risks. I'm not saying be reckless. I am saying be bold enough to share an out-of-the-box idea. Suggest a different approach for their marketing campaign or a unique strategy for improving customer loyalty based on something you did at your previous job. Sure, it's a risk. They might not agree, but at least they'll remember you. And that's half the battle, isn't it? And listen, here's a bit of a gut punch. A lot of hiring decisions are made in the first 5 minutes of an interview. Yeah, I know it's unfair, but people make snap judgments. That means you've got about 5 minutes to convince them that you are someone worth listening to. So how do you do that? You command the room right from the beginning. You walk in with energy, enthusiasm, and curiosity. You start the conversation by asking a unique, thoughtful question about the role or the company's future. You take control and you make the conversation dynamic. First impressions aren't just important, they are everything. Look, being great on paper is a great start. It means you're doing a lot of things right. But if you're tired of always being the runner-up, it's time to change your approach. Forget playing it safe, forget trying to be the perfect fit, and forget turning into a robot during interviews. Instead, focus on being bold, being authentic, and being the one person they just can't ignore. You've got what it takes, now let them see it. And if you need that extra edge, if you want personalized advice on how to level up your skills and nail those interviews, CourseCorrect is here for you. We've got the tools and you've got the talent. Let's make sure the next interview is the one that counts. Thanks for watching and go out there and own it.